Yo, what's up, body bags? This is a theme week of 2010 and beyond. So, decided to review a movie that came out, I think, 3 years ago tops, called BRO Party Massacre 3. And, this is the limited edition Blu-ray they released pretty recently. They had an original Blu-ray and DVD, but I think this one has more features, and this is the new reversible artwork for it. But, yeah, it was released by Scream Team Releasing, who also released 1031 and The Barn and The Sleeper. So to me, they're the best at doing these retro 80s movies because I really dug The Barn and 1031. I still got to see The Sleeper, but I've heard really good things about it. But this essentially is a ripoff of all the 80s Slumber Party Massacres, Sorority House Massacres. You could tell from the font they use the exact same font and color scheme. Now, this is called Bro Party Massacre 3. There is no part 1 and 2. It's kind of like Thanksgiving, where they just skipped a sequel. Well, they never made the first two. And in the beginning, they give you like a warning saying, or not a warning, but like a little heads up saying, the first two movies were were banned by Ronald Reagan and all that. Because this does take place in the 80s. It's like supposed to be an 80s film. So the first two were banned, and this one was banned also. And what we're watching is the only surviving copy taped off of late night TV, I think at like 3 in the morning from some teenager. So what'll happen is like there'll be like 30 minutes and it'll be like a commercial break, and you could see like tracking lines, and it'll play like half of a ridiculous fake commercial that looks legit. So it gives to that whole vibe of it's being like recorded off of a TV. Now, the general, and then it does give you a like a short synopsis in the beginning, kind of recapping the first two, and it's really ridiculous. There's some badass kills in the first opening montage, summing up the first two, and there's some really humorous parts in that too because it's kind of set up like the surviving dude of the first two is kind of telling these stories to this therapist or whatever, and then it kicks off into the movie. But essentially, there's like this twin brother, and the main guy dies from the first two. It's not a spoiler; it happens in like the first 15 minutes. But his twin brother's trying to figure out how his brother got murdered and all that. And there's this killer on the cover here named Motherface, and she's killing all these dude bros, which are basically like fraternity people. And these dude bros, they're playing all these pranks that are getting the town pissed, so they have to have their party at some secluded cabin away from everybody and all that. And Motherface is there trying to kill them all. Now, it's really goofy. I mean, a lot of the jokes land, but there's so many jokes in it that there's a lot that don't land also. But for the most part, the jokes do land. Now, there's some really cool cameos in this too. My favorite is Greg Sestero, because it's a really long cameo. He's in it for like the first half of the movie, and he has some really funny parts. There's a cameo by Patton Oswalt, who plays like a police chief and like some satanic worshiper dude. There's more. Andrew W.K. is some partier left at the cabin named Ripstick. There's some other cameos. I don't remember all. Oh, Nina Hartley, the porn star. There's a bunch of cameos in this. Larry King, of all people, has a really short cameo that's really bizarre. But yeah, this was a really fun movie. I thought a lot of the deaths are really cool. There's one kill in particular that involves like a beer tap. Like there's this dude that's it's like a stereotype of these 80s slashers movies and stuff where there's just a partier dude who's just drinking the whole time, and he pounds like over 100 beers, and his worst fear is that to run out of beer, and he runs out of beer, and he ends up looking for more, and he finds this keg like out in the middle of nowhere, and that's when he gets killed. It's really badass. Some really sweet gore scenes in it. You know, there's the cop that's trying to break to figure it all out is like some coke addict and all that. There's just some really bizarre things going on in this movie, but I had a really fun time with it. Like I said, it was really funny, and there was a lot of gore. Now, to one of my only complaints, it is my only complaint really, is this movie's like an hour and 40-something minutes long. My opinion, this should have been just like Slumber Party Massacre movies and Sorority House Massacre, because I think all those are literally only an hour 10 minutes, hour 15 minutes. So, my opinion, if this was going full spoof mode, on those movies. It should have been an hour 15 minutes. It could have trimmed a lot of the jokes that didn't work. There was some stuff that just didn't land, so this could have been shortened. But there was a lot of writers on this thing, so I'm sure what it was a lot of writers wanted their jokes in there and didn't want to cut anything. Now, the Blu-ray, it doesn't really look like Blu-ray quality because you're kind of like watching like a VHS rip of tape recording from the 80s, so nothing's really going to pop out, but it's cool just to have it on Blu-ray as a definitive edition. Now, some of the special features, the original 102-minute feature film, director's commentary, Rivers of Darkness, the making of this, which is really cool. It's like an hour long, and it goes all into the Kickstarter and just the beginnings of it to the end. Gag reel trailer, and there are English subtitles, which is a good plus for me. But yeah, I'd highly recommend this. Super fun movie, and it has a reversible cover art that I really like a lot. I don't know if you could see it too well, but it's a dude bro with his head exploding. I do kind of like that cover a little better. I don't know, but I'll keep the original cover. But yeah, I definitely recommend getting this. I don't think it really ever goes down in price because it's Screen Team. I got this at Grindhouse Video. I think you can get this a little cheaper there than Amazon. I think Screen Team's expensive on Amazon. But yeah, that's Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. Definitely fun. Anyways, guys, see y'all next week.